hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm still trying to get through this daylight savings time business. I'm really hoping that they do away with it because it really messes up my system. How many of you, do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Does it matter? For me, it's worse in the fall because even though we gain an hour, it still messes me up more. I'm still messed up with this one though too. Why can't we be like our next door neighbor Saskatchewan who does not do it and they're just perfectly fine, and that's how I want to be. All right, what's on my lips today? Today we have the um, La, Lancome Attraction Matte Lipstick in this gorgeous, gorgeous pink. I just love it. It's so smooth, and I'm assuming Attraction is the name. It's $3.79. They just make my lips feel really, really good, and I love it. So if you're looking for a nice matte lipstick in many colors, Lancome's the way to go. Now on to my video. I wanted to talk about this for a while now, and something I saw in the news made me want to do it today. There is a lot of animal abuse going on. I'm sure it's always been going on, but I'm hearing more and more about it, and it breaks my heart. I'm going to be talking about when I volunteered at the Humane Society here in Winnipeg. I do have some details that I had to encounter when I was working there that I did not like. I'll try and keep it as lower key as I can. There are positive attributes too that I want to share because the animals there are just so loving and so caring and so just looking for a home. That's all they're doing. And the reason why I went to work there, I was going to college and I was working 2 jobs. This was when I took my sister, and I was working 1 job, and then the other job I worked across the street, and I basically worked from 7:30 or 7 to 3, and then 3:30 to 11:30 at the other job. And then I would do volunteer at the Humane Society there was 3 times a week. I would do that. My shift changed to midnights, so I would work basically from 11:30 at night till 7:30 in the morning. I would sleep a little bit. Then I would go and work at the Humane Society from about 10 a.m. till 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then I would go into my other job at 3:30 to 11:30, and then go to run across the street to Tim Hortons, and it was Tim Hortons, and work there for another shift. So my shift at the other job was always changing. I ended up having to work midnights in order to incorporate the Humane Society into my schedule. So I wanted to help them just because they were reaching out to people. They wanted help. They needed help. Even if you can just go there for an hour or 2 and walk a dog, they needed help. And so me being the animal lover that I am, I went there and I took the orientation and all that kind of stuff. and I worked there. I worked there for quite a while, actually. So my schedule was basically filled up from morning till night or night till morning, however you want to look at it. There was no time to do anything. I'm lucky if I got a little bit of sleep and a little bit of time to study. I would take my books with me to work and study on my breaks. I would take my books to the Humane Society and study on a break if I was working longer than 3 hours. So it was a pretty hectic time for me, and this was when I took my sister in, and I wanted to, you know, get her everything that she needed because she did come to my place with the clothes on her back. Basically, she had nothing, so I had to give her everything, like deodorant and makeup and hair shampoo and everything and clothing. Lucky she actually, at that time, we were both around the same size. I wish. And so she would borrow my clothes, but I still had to get her own clothes. So it was a tough time for me, but at the same time, I felt I was doing good for my sister. So what I did was it was almost like adopting her. I also applied for the child tax credit because my dad was still claiming it while she was living with me. So I had to basically prove that she was living with me. So I had to prove her school, her address, everything like that. And I did, and I ended up getting an extra couple $100 a month to help me out with bills and with, stuff for her. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it did help. My dad tried fighting me on this one to get the money back, but he had no legs to stand on because she was living with me. She was with me, so he can't claim for something that's not there. So he tried fighting me, but I ended up winning in the end, and it wasn't really winning. I mean, it was just a couple $100 a month to help her, get what she needed and, school stuff and all that kind of stuff, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to college. I have 2 jobs. I'm taking care of my sister. Let's throw in, volunteering in the mix. I have a few hours to spare. So I did. And you know what? For the most part, guys, it was rewarding. I got to, spend time with the animals if I wanted to. I could, sit there and go visit the cats and the dogs and, but there were some pretty gruesome stories. If you don't want to hear them, you might want to fast forward just a bit. There was this one photo of a cat on the wall everywhere, and I was curious. I asked about this cat, and the cat. Oh, I'm trying not to cry here. It was a kind of like a memorial picture for the cat, because it was someone, and hopefully they got put in jail, put the cat in the microwave oven and turned it on. I just about wanted to puke at that time. I did. I wanted to puke. Oh, and one more. This cat did not die. However, it had a cone around its neck. And I asked what happened to it. And they told me that the cat was rescued right after it was poured with gasoline. It was rescued right before it was lit on fire. So they had to clean it up and all that kind of stuff, so it had a cone on so it didn't lick. Yeah. So I'm not going to mention any more bad stuff so you can come back. um, and this happened near the end of my time there. That made me want to quit. And I didn't want to quit, and it wasn't because I had no time. I wanted to stay there. I wanted to help. I loved the animals. I loved walking them, the dogs. I loved, petting the cats and looking at them like the babies, and I loved it all. That made me want to quit because I could not. My my physical body and psyche could not handle that. And if there was more coming in, I wouldn't be able to handle it. So I had to leave, and I did not want to. I felt so bad, but deep down, like, if you have to listen to something like that or hear about something like that where you're working and you're coming in contact with these animals, it is hard. It is so darn hard. I can't even tell you guys. I just can't fathom how someone can voluntarily hurt an animal like that. I can't. I just can't. It makes me so angry inside. I want to go and take them all home, give them all good homes, because it's so hard. It's hard to even think that people would do that. So I had to tell them, it's not because of anything that they did, or, it's a great place and they're doing great things. I can't be around that kind of stuff. It just breaks my heart so much that I just can't. I can't. It just, my body and my brain just won't let me. I'll sit there and I'll bawl my eyes out for the whole time I'm there. It's just amazing how people can be so mean and so horrible. I wanted to be mad at myself because I'm like, well, why don't you find enough strength to stay there and help the animals? In my mind, I want to, but hearing things like that, I just can't. I'd be crying all the time. Like, I couldn't do it. So, I mean, I did end up doing a monetary donation at the time. I was doing, it came out of my account every month. So I did end up doing something else for them. So that made me feel better. Like, I told them, and I even left and I gave them a check and I said, here, I said, hopefully this will help. And I apologized and I said, I really wanted to, be here and help. And, I couldn't. I just couldn't watch that kind of stuff happen in front of me. And I mean, it's bad enough I hear about it on the news and stuff, but to be in the building where they are, and if they're surviving ones, where they are, and see them, and it's a lot more, it affects me more when I'm in contact with the animals that are put through this type of stuff, and it affects me more. Yeah, the news, it affects me too, but when I'm in contact with an animal that has encountered abuse, um, it it's a lot worse for me anyway. So that is my experience working at the Humane Society. You know, anybody trying to do good for any charity that you are helping, you're doing a good job, you're doing what you feel is right and what you feel you can afford. Anything that you can do to help anybody is awesome. It's awesome, you know. I always try and help when I can, and I mean, we're not rich by no means. There's a reason I'm part of the BBB, the Broke Bitch Boat with Nikki Murphy. Love her. But I do try and help out whenever I can. If I have, extra $10 or, whatever the case may be, I do try. So that is my experience at working at the Humane Society here in Winnipeg, and now I will rather do like a $10 donation or whatever donation that I can afford rather than actually be there because I just couldn't. So I hope you like this video, guys. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 300 so I can do another giveaway. I can't wait for the people from the first giveaway to get their packages because they're going to love them. And I can't wait to do the next one. So please help me get to 300. I love you guys. You're beautiful inside and out. Don't you ever forget that. Keep smiling, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.